Hello. We went to a dance class this morning, hence why I'm dressed like this, which was really fun. Well, no, that's an exaggeration. It was good. I wouldn't say it was really fun, but it was fun to go with my mum. And then I got a nice coffee on the way home. And the iced coffees here are not like the iced coffees in London or elsewhere. They're like, oh, they're sweeter and they're like a different consistency, as you can tell. It's like a frappe almost, and I love them. I haven't had them in so long, and I enjoyed that. And then I also had a Barreca, which I haven't had in ages. So I'm happy. And now there is an event on with the work that I used to do out here, and they've asked me, because I told them I was here, if I could help out. So I'm going to help out, and I think a lot of my family will attend as well, so it should be good fun, I hope. And I've never been to this event before, so yeah, should be good. And I will try and catch up with you later. I feel like I haven't spoken to you actually. The weekend was Shabbat was so lovely. It is just so nice to be back home with my family. Like, there's just nothing like it. And I unpacked, I got everything in the cupboard. I can't find like my pajama tops, which is a bit annoying, so I've borrowed from my sister for now. But I found my books and I found like old clothes, and I've got a dress in the cupboard that my sister wants me to try on because she thinks it will fit and suit me, so I will have a look. And yeah, I feel in a good place. I've had a busy weekend, obviously, so I haven't got round to doing much of like admin, home life admin, but I will have a lot of time over the next few days, so that should all be good. I need to quickly get changed now, and then I'll catch you whenever I next have time. Bye! Or something to share at least. Bye! Hello. I feel like I had things I wanted to share about yesterday, but I've forgotten. But today I met a friend at the event yesterday, and we were talking about running because she's the friend I saw in London who was taking up running. I don't know if I mentioned that. And she said, hey, if you ever want to go for a run together, let me know. And I said, well, when? And she said, well, usually I work from home Mondays and Fridays, so I could go around lunchtime. And I know I want to go for a run as much as I can while I'm here. And I also know that I definitely need an accountability buddy or something. So I messaged her I really didn't want to, just because I don't want to run. But I messaged her to say, would you happen to be free tomorrow? And she said yes. So I'm gonna go for a run. I'm about to meet her. I need to leave in about 10 minutes or so. It's quite grey outside, which is good, but it is still like 19 degrees. It was meant to rain, but I'm not sure it will. But at least it's grey. I'll take it. I have put on some sun cream on my face just because it's Australia and you need to, but I'm hoping it'll be okay. She mentioned we'll go for about a 5k. She does live a 20-minute walk away from me, so I'm gonna walk there, but I figured maybe I'll run back because that might be, I don't know, is that like 1.5 kilometers extra? I don't know, but we'll see how I'm faring because I haven't run now in a few weeks. Also, I've never run with a friend before or with anyone except obviously at races, but even then you're still on your own really. So I don't know what like the protocol is. I have had a look at her Strava and I do think we go a very similar pace, so that should be good. But yeah, I've no idea what to expect. And I am gonna bring my headphones, partly because I'm obviously walking there and also have the stretch back at the end. So I definitely want to be able to listen to something, but I don't know if I'll use them while I'm running, but equally I don't have anywhere else to store them while I'm running. So we'll see. I am excited. I am a bit nervous, quite nervous, but I'm hoping it'll be good fun. And at least if nothing else, like it's gonna get me out of the house and go for a run. So I'll take it, and then I can come home, and then I've got so much time to shower, change before I've got something on tonight. And I've had a pretty productive morning. I've been editing a bit and yeah, all that jazz. So I am feeling good, I think. I will report back when I'm home and see how I feel. Ah! Hello, I've just come in, as you can probably tell. I got myself some lovely cold fridge water. Wow. I want to say, as much as I do sweat on runs, part of this is also rain. It started raining. Let me go through and I'll tell you when it started raining. So I just came in 2 minutes ago, so around, call it 1:10, and I left home around 10 to 12. So I was out for an hour 20, all of which was like walking or running. I only tracked an hour of that because I didn't track my walk to my friend, which was about 20 minutes. And you know what? She pushed me big time. Hang on, I'm gonna grab a towel. Now, there's a couple of things to note. First of all, I do think the pace was fairly similar to what I'm used to, but she is much taller than me. She's got much longer legs, so I need to take that into account. Also, obviously, I haven't run in a few weeks, and she's been doing some very steady training towards a race at the end of March. And also, even though it's grey, it was still 19 degrees and fairly humid. I'm gonna see if I can see how humid it was. It says 84% humidity. think, I'm just checking, I'm just saving the run now, and I think this was my 70th run, which is crazy. So I walked to my friend, and then she had this 5k route that she suggested. The only problem with the route was that at the start and I think at the end, no, not even at the end, well, yeah, it was a loop. So at the start and at the end, there were like 2 big roads we had to cross. The first didn't even have traffic lights or a zebra crossing or anything. So we just had to wait and see when we could cross. And then the other one did have lights, but it was a major road. So you definitely couldn't cross it without the lights, which again meant you did have to stop. And if you've been watching me for a while, I never like to stop on my runs unless I'm walking, but I definitely don't like to go to a full standstill, and I hate having to like wait at roads. Usually I'll like go up and down the side street until it's ready to cross. But we did it, and then once you got past that second crossing, it was pretty much all like a walking path, which was so nice. Like there were 1 or 2 roads where you had to cross, but most of them either had zebra crossings or they were like very small roads and we didn't have to wait for cars. So that was really good. And then we got to a park where the first bit was really nice and not flat necessarily, but like pavement. But then the second part was like through the park, and it wasn't muddy or anything, but it was like a little bit gravelly. I didn't notice anything. I didn't have an issue with it, but it was not as like flat as necessarily I'm used to. But the thing is, we got to the park at like 2.2 kilometers. And the park was definitely not a mere, 300 meters. So I could already tell we were going to go above the 5 kilometer mark. And I said to myself, like, if I can just get to 5 kilometers, even if, we have to walk the rest of the way home, let's do it. Also trying to chat, like it was nice. It was really nice to be able to chat, and there was definitely a distraction element to it. But also like I just got out of breath so much quicker. Although that could also be the humidity, of course. But then we got back to the first of the 2 big crossings, and I said to myself, right, when we get to that light, we're going to be over 5 kilometers, that's when I'm going to stop. But then very unfortunately for me, as we were approaching the lights, they turned green, so we ran. But we did then stop once we crossed the road. So we got to about 5.3 without stopping, and then we walked the rest of the way to her house home. We walked, and then I collected my stuff, I said goodbye, and then I did try and run some of the way home. And in the end, it was 7.5 kilometers, so like a pretty decent amount actually. And that's not including the, probably 1.5 kilometer walk there. So actually I did 9 kilometers. I should have added it, so I don't know why I didn't. It's because I was walking. And what I will say is that we got to, I looked at my phone because I was getting tired. It was 1.84 kilometers, and I was already like, I really want to stop. And I probably, if I'd been on my own, I would have almost certainly pushed myself to 2, probably to 3, but not beyond that. And instead I went to 5.3 because she sort of almost didn't let me stop. I'm sure if I'd really been like passing out, she would have obviously, but I never mentioned it to her. I said I was tired, but also like we just kept going. And that's very cool to me. Again, it's that thing of like mind over body, because my mind was ready to give up, but my body could keep going. So in the end, I did 7.57 kilometers with my overall time being 1 hour. And this is really cool. Unless my friend has tagged me, the app already can tell that I was running with her. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I don't feel like there's much to show in the graph or even like in the breakdown of times, but I'll share this with you. I can't keep my hand still, but there we go. Yay. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm so proud of myself for going out. Like I was out for 1:20. That's crazy. That's so much more than it should have been. It should have been like 35 minutes. It's more than double. That's crazy. But it's so nice, A, to have the time to do that. B, to like, well, also because of the time that we went at, it wasn't crazy busy like on the roads or in the park or anything. C, to like be able to come home now and take my time to decompress, to shower, to change, to talk to you, to stretch, everything. It's so nice. So yeah, I'll try and do something with her again, probably next week. But yeah, I'm proud of myself. I am very sweaty and very sticky. So I am going to shower now after some stretches, I think. And then I'll maybe chat to you a bit later on. Bye. Hello. The rest of yesterday was really good. I had a good time at the evening thing that I had on. So that was good. And then I slept quite well, quite deeply. But my dreams were intense, I feel. And then I woke up around 8, which is a little bit early, and I didn't feel like I was well rested when I woke up. But I did just get up because, it's a good time to be awake. And then I've been doing some editing this morning, as well as watching some of The Lincoln Lawyer, because I'm finally back on Netflix. And I'm just gonna keep doing that for the time being, I think. But actually, the reason why I wanted to come on here, and it's something I've been wanting to say for the last few days, is it's so interesting to me. I know how I felt about Australia when I was living here, and I know how I felt about Australia when I'm in the UK, and I know how I feel about myself in the UK, and that I'm very happy there and confident, and I feel in a really good place. But it's really amazing to see what an effect Australia has on me. I think on either Saturday or Sunday, I was dreaming about something to do with Holland. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but I do remember being very, very, very upset. And it's the kind of upset and the kind of dream that I had so much while I was living here and have so much less of in the UK. The first time in recent years that I've felt that way whilst being in the UK was when Gadri announced that they were going to come back and do a reunion concert. But that's like the first time I can think of in all my time being in the UK that I really felt that, like, I don't know what the right word is for it, but that pain almost of like missing my childhood and missing Holland. So that was number one. And then again, I can't remember if it was on Sunday or yesterday, but I just felt really anxious. I think it was after the run yesterday, and like I'd had a really good experience with the run, and it was nice seeing my friend and it was nice catching up, and I had this thing planned for last night, and I was looking forward to it, but equally in my head I was just like, I don't know how to describe it, but like there was an anxiety there about it and like the social aspect of it, and yeah, I don't know, and also just the way I feel in myself. It's crazy, like it's genuinely mad. Like I can feel so many more like self-doubts and self-criticisms come in to me while I'm here. And then also last night I had another dream that wasn't like as intense or anything, and it was actually to do with my school here and like my classmates. And I don't know, like I really enjoyed school, so I don't know why this dream like messed me up, but it did. And I just think it's so crazy. Like I always knew I was so much more anxious and upset when I was living here. But it's amazing to see that literally within a couple of days, that all comes flooding back. And I know there are people out there who say like being with their family gives them that feeling of like there's a pressure or there's an anxiety or whatever. And for me, that's completely not the case. It is so lovely to be with my family. And there's so, I don't even know what the right word is, but like there's no pressure from them for anything. So I know that the feeling doesn't come from them. It 100% comes from Australia. And it's not like anyone's done anything. Like everyone's been nice, everyone I've seen. And I love being home. Like it really means so much to me. But it's just fascinating that like the presence in Australia is causing this. I'm sure it's something that I should unpack with a therapist. But instead you guys get to hear about it. I just think it's wild. There's no reason for it. There's absolutely no reason for it. Anyway, I wanted to share that because I think it's interesting. And I'm just gonna keep having a chill day for now, and then we'll see what else we do. Oh, actually, I will also say my thighs, or no, my quads are quite sore. No, my thighs, the front bit, are like not quite sore, but I can feel them. I can feel that they've been worked. But also I was thinking like it is mad that I was able to do the 5K yesterday, considering like how much I was struggling. I really didn't think I'd be able to get past 2. So to have done a 5K and then add another little bit on top of that, I'm just really proud of myself. And then tonight we're going to a dance class, so that'll be interesting and fun. It's nice to move. It's nice to have the time to move and to like focus on these things. Yesterday I did quite a bit of singing. I can't remember if I said that, but that was also really nice. I'm not going to do it today though because a few people are home and I don't want to disturb anyone. But I should have some more opportunities, you know, in the course of the week and the weeks. But yeah, so I'm really enjoying being here. There's just these like brain things that are happening, which is crazy. Anyway, I'll catch up with you in a bit. Bye. Hello, good morning. Yesterday was good. I went to a dance class with my mum in the evening, which was really nice. Well, actually, again, I didn't love the class, but it's just so nice to be able to share it with my mum and also good to be moving. And then very last minute, I got called into work because I think I mentioned the other day, I did let them know I was here, and it's the kind of job that I can very easily pick up. And it's a pretty busy time for them for some reason. So they did let me know that they wanted me, so I went in for an hour, and it was very chill. And then came home, spent some time with my parents, and then went to bed, and had a pretty good night, again, a pretty deep sleep. And then this morning I've got up. My sister made waffles, which were very yummy, although she made too many, so we've left some in the fridge for later. And then she's going out, I think, for the next hour to maybe 2 hours, and then when she gets back we'll see if we can do something together. And then tonight we're going to the ballet, so that should be nice. But yesterday, one of the other things I did was go through, there's a big well, there's a big box and a couple of bags that were in my brother's room that are my things, and I just wanted to go through. I figured most of it will stay here just because I don't have space for it in London, but I just wanted to see what there was, and I have picked out a couple of things that I want to keep, so I'm going to show those to you now. Honestly, primarily it's stationery, but let's have a look. So first of all, this magnet. I look really white. It's very grey out and like quite bright, so maybe that's why. But first of all, this magnet that I got from Sam from the Dear Hopefuls channel years ago, and it's very cute, but I've not had my own fridge for a long time. Well, since I was last here. Is that true? Yeah, that is true. So obviously I kept it here all this time, but now I do have a fridge, and we do have fridge magnets, so I can bring this and pop it on. Then this pillow, which actually I should almost certainly take the pillow cover off, but I'll just show you first. I'm definitely going to keep it in this room for the time being, because it's always, I just love pillows and I always want to have an extra one. But I may still also take it with me to London, just because even though we have so many pillows, I always like having a little one, and it's also good for traveling and things. So we'll see. This is such a shame because I did just put on a laundry, but oh well. And then the stationery. Oh, actually, first of all, I've got a bunch of safety pins. I don't really know where this bag has come from, but probably from like previous shows and stuff. But I always find I don't have enough safety pins, so I'm taking that back with me. Then I was very excited when I saw this. I had 2 pairs of scissors. I have one really good pair of scissors in the UK, and I love it, and I use it all the time. Not all the time, whenever I use it. But because we only have one set of scissors, we also have to use them for things like cutting flowers or, you know, any kitchen things like opening food packages, whatever. And I really don't like that. And I tell Wayne that, but because we don't have another set of scissors, we don't want to be buying more, essentially. But I found these 2, so they're coming home with me. Then a couple more highlighters. I'm going to check that these actually still work, but if they do, they'll be useful. I not that I use highlighters that much, but they're always useful to have. Then this pen, which again, like, if it works, it'll be great. That's upside down. There you go. So yeah, like I would be very happy if it works, but we'll have to test it as well. Then this one's really funny because I thought it was in the UK and I was looking for it. I can't remember when, but definitely recently-ish. It's this sticker book that I got ages ago, like such a long time ago, and it's got like letters and then some like words and quotes and whatever. And I don't know why I was looking for it, but I was, and I'm so glad that I found it now, and I'll bring that back with me. Then these, which when I got them, I never knew like what they were for or why anyone would need them. But since I've got more into like the bullet journaling side of things, I've realized they can be quite useful. So got those. Actually, with the current journal I have, it's like I don't know what you call that, the spine where it like is round. I don't know, spiral. So actually I don't think I need it, but still useful to have. And finally, this one's one I'm very excited about, an SD card. Now, I actually think this might be the card that has all my skydiving photos and videos, but I do have copies of it, I think on 2 different, like on my computer and on another hard drive. I can't speak. In which case, I can empty it and use it for my camera, which would be amazing. The only problem is this SD card slot doesn't fit into my computer, my laptop. I've got one of the mini ones. But I still feel like it could be useful. So I'm going to bring it back with me and we'll see what we do with it. And that's it. So the couple of things I have taken out and then also just rejigging some stuff has meant that I actually, because I had like one big box and a bunch of bags, I've been able to put everything into the big box. So that's quite nice as well for like keeping it out of the way here. But that's everything from me for now. I'm probably going to watch some more Lincoln Lawyer, maybe watch some more YouTube, maybe do some more editing, although I've done a lot the last few days, so I feel like I'm a little bit edited out. But we'll see. I'm sure I'll keep you posted. Bye! so lovely. Hello. I feel like I've barely spoken to you and had very few check-ins. We obviously went to the beach on Sunday, which was so lovely. I don't think I've been to the beach since we were in Greece, which was about 9 months ago. So that's wild. And it's so nice. It's so nice to be able to just go and enjoy the sunset. Like, it was so gorgeous. It was so lovely, and the perfect temperature as well. So yeah, very, very nice. And then yesterday I met up with a friend, which was really lovely, the same friend who came to London in January. By the way, I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but I feel like this part of my face is twitching, so ignore that if you see it. And then today I've been doing some work and then been playing some games with my sister, which has been really nice. And then I'm going to work in about half an hour. I've ended up working more, I think, than I was expecting to, but I do know it's a busy period for them, so I don't mind it. And luckily this is quite a chill shift because it starts at 4 and it finishes at 8:30, so that's quite nice, and someone's going to come pick me up at the end of it as well, so it should be fairly chill, hopefully. I don't know if I mentioned, I had some blood tests done a couple of days ago, I think maybe on Friday, and one of the things that showed up on the blood test, which is so interesting to me, I don't know if you guys recall, but in the last couple of months, I would say, in various vlogs, I speak about the fact that I feel like my blood sugar is low, even though I'm not diabetic, but I just have this sense that that's what I'm feeling. And that's based off like having Googled some stuff, which you should never Google your symptoms, but that's how it felt. Anyway, lo and behold, it's shown up as having low blood sugar, which is really interesting to me. Like, it's interesting that I was able, through Google, which, as I say, usually you should not use to like figure out your symptoms, but through how it explained it to me and how I recognized my own symptoms, I could tell that that was the case, and it's nice that like it's true. So I mean, obviously it's not a good thing, but at least I know that that's what's causing that feeling occasionally. It doesn't happen all the time, but I know that I wait to eat until I feel like I'm gonna faint or pass out or whatever. So probably not the healthiest method, and I probably need to snack more, is what my mum said. So that's going to be something I'm going to try and do when I'm back in London. That being said, next week is Pesach, and it's very hard to snack during Pesach, although generally we do have a lot more sugar because we have lots more chocolatey and sweet things and like brown sugar, so we'll see. I also had some other medical things done while I was here, but everything else is good, so that's comforting, obviously. It's been more humid and more warm than I think I was expecting. I mean, I know Australia's warm, but my mum was so convinced that it was going to be colder, and she was unfortunately quite wrong. It's been very humid. Although I do think it's meant to rain and cool down quite a bit over the next week, which would be good for me. I also don't know if I've mentioned, but I have had to change my flight. I think I did speak about the fact that there might be a need to, because I'm flying back via, or I was meant to be flying back via Qatar, but that's now official. So I am going to be flying back, I think 2 days later, which is not ideal. I did let work know, and obviously it's outside of my control, you know. Well, not completely, but the price of the flight on the day I was meant to leave was like double the price of the flight 2 days later. So unless work wants to cover that cost, which I'm sure they don't, they'll just have to accept the fact that I'll be gone for 2 more days. And luckily they have been quite understanding. Obviously it's annoying, but you know, we'll make it work. But yeah, I think that's all the updates I wanted to give for now. I just wanted to check in because I do feel like it's been a while. And I will talk to you whenever I next have something to share. Bye!